Ladies and gentlemen, there are some people who walk into a room and instantly shift the energy. They don't speak loudly, they don't need to demand attention, and yet every eye is drawn to them. Every conversation subtly quiets. Something unexplainable happens, something powerful. That something is presence. That something is aura. This video is not for everyone. This is for the rare few who have always felt different, not in a way that seeks to be special, but in a way that feels like truth. Deep down, you know you were never meant to blend in. You've tried. Oh, you've tried. You've dimmed your light, softened your tone, played small just to make others feel comfortable. But no matter what you do, you still stand out. That's not a coincidence. That's not ego. That's energy. You don't have to try to be powerful. You just are. And the world feels it. Your confidence? It doesn't come from applause. It comes from alignment. Your peace? It doesn't come from the absence of chaos. It comes from knowing who you are, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. But let's be honest, not everyone celebrates that. In fact, most people don't know what to do with someone whose energy doesn't shrink to fit into their expectations. They say things like, "You're too much, you're intimidating, you think you're better than everyone." But the truth is not that you think you're better, it's that you refuse to settle for less. You refuse to fake it. You refuse to change. You refuse to beg for rooms you were never meant to be in. And that kind of authenticity, that kind of clarity, it's rare, it's misunderstood, and yes, it's intimidating. So today we're going to talk about you. We're going to break down the 5 unmistakable signs that your aura is simply too powerful for most people to handle. Not because you're arrogant, not because you're trying to make others uncomfortable, but because your energy, your truth, your light shines too brightly to be ignored. If you've ever been told you're intense, too quiet, too confident, too independent, this message is for you. If you've ever felt like people pull away without explanation, like they misread your presence or project their insecurities onto your power, this message is for you. And if you've ever struggled to understand why you often feel both admired and avoided, this message is most definitely for you. Because there's nothing wrong with your energy. It's not too much. It's not too strong. It's exactly what it's meant to be. Bold, pure, magnetic. So lean in, my friend. Let's talk about the signs. Let's break down the truth. This is your reminder that you don't have to apologize for your light. You just have to own it. Let's begin. 5 signs your aura is too powerful for most people to handle. There's something different about you and you felt it for a long time. You don't blend in, even when you try. You don't follow the crowd because you were never meant to. There's a force within you that sets you apart. It's not arrogance. It's not attitude. It's presence. It's power. It's your aura. Some people will love it. Some people will hate it. But almost everyone will feel it. Your aura speaks before you open your mouth. It enters the room before your body does. It commands respect without saying a word. And that is exactly why some people can handle it. Let's talk about the first sign your aura is too powerful for most people to handle. Side 1, you intimidate people without even trying. You walk into a space not to dominate, not to demand attention, but just to be present. And somehow all eyes shift. Some people get quiet. Others start acting differently around you. You notice them looking at you, then quickly looking away. You can feel it, the energy changes. And here's the truth. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're doing something rare. You carry yourself with quiet confidence. You don't seek approval. You don't need the spotlight. You're just secure in who you are. And that confidence, that self-assurance, it makes people uncomfortable, especially those who aren't used to being around someone who doesn't shrink to fit in. Most people are used to us playing small. They're used to ego, to noise, to performance. But when someone shows up fully grounded, fully present, and fully authentic, it's powerful, it's rare, and it's intimidating. You don't have to pretend to be anything. Your truth speaks louder than any performance ever could. That alone can shake people. Understand this. When people are intimidated by you, it says more about their inner world than it does about your outer behavior. They may try to label you. They may try to tear you down. They may call you too intense, too confident, or too much. But remember this, you are not too much. You are just more than they're ready for. You weren't meant to water yourself down to make others feel better about playing small. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to stand out in your energy, in your truth, and in your purpose. So let them be uncomfortable. Let them be unsure. Let them misjudge you. Because the ones who are meant for you will not be intimidated by your power. They will rise to meet it. Sign. 2, you make people confront their own insecurities. There's something about your presence that makes people reflect. You don't have to say much. You don't have to lecture or correct anyone. Just by being you, strong, focused, self-aware, you make others take a deeper look at themselves. And here's the truth. Not everyone is ready for that. Most people walk through life hiding from their own reflection. They bury their doubts under distractions. They silence their truth to fit into places they don't belong. They follow the crowd because standing alone feels terrifying. Then you show up. You with your clarity. You with your inner strength. You with your refusal to settle for anything less than your worth. And suddenly, their carefully constructed comfort zone starts to shake. You didn't do it on purpose. You didn't try to make them feel small. You were just honest. And that honesty highlighted their hesitation. You were just real. And that realness exposed what they've been pretending not to feel. When you speak your mind without fear, it reminds them how often they stay silent. When you walk with purpose, it reminds them how long they've been wandering. When you honor your boundaries, it forces them to confront the fact that they've let theirs be broken over and over. You didn't hurt them. You awakened them. But awakening isn't always welcome, not when someone has lived in denial for too long. So what do? They pull away. They distance themselves. They might even try to criticize you, not because you've done wrong, but because it's easier for them to judge your strength than to face their own weakness. Don't let it shake you. Your energy might be intense, but it's also inspiring. It might challenge people, but it also calls them higher. You are a walking reminder that there is more. More courage, more truth, more potential. Some people will reject that, but others will be drawn to it like a flame. They'll find in you the encouragement they've been secretly praying for. They'll find a reflection of who they're capable of becoming if they're willing to step into their own power. So don't dim your light. Don't quiet your voice. Don't shrink your energy to make people feel safe in their comfort zones. You're not responsible for their healing, but you are responsible for honoring the power of your presence. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to awaken others. By simply being who you are, you attract deep connections and repel the superficial. When your aura is powerful, it naturally filters your relationships. You don't have time for small talk that leads nowhere. You don't feel comfortable in fake conversations, plastic friendships, or shallow environments. You crave depth. You value authenticity. And your energy demands it. People can sense this about you even before they truly get to know you. They either rise to meet you or they slowly back away. And honestly, you're okay with that? Because once you've tasted real connection, fake no longer satisfies. You see, your energy doesn't just speak, it listens. It reads the room. It notices the tone behind words, the silence between sentences, the tension behind the smile. You hear what isn't being said. You feel what others try to hide. And this gift of awareness means you can't fake your way through anything. You know when someone's intentions don't match their words. You know when someone is being polite on the surface but guarded underneath. So what happens? You start naturally repelling what's fake, shallow, and performative. Not because you're trying to be rude, but because your soul has no interest in pretending. And for some people, that's a problem. Because the world they live in thrives on masks, on appearances, on surface level approval. You, however, crave the real. You want the unfiltered. You want the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. You want connection that nourishes, not just entertains. This is why your relationships might be few, but they are powerful. You don't need a crowd. You need alignment. And that makes your energy rare. It's why strangers might tell you their life stories within minutes of meeting you. That's why people often say, I don't know why, but I feel safe with you. Because your energy doesn't judge. It holds space. It listens. It reflects. It challenges, but gently. But here's the thing. When people sense that you're not someone they can lie to, impress, or manipulate, they either open up or walk away. There's no in between. And that's your power. You don't have to force truth. You embody it. You don't have to chase loyalty. You attract it. You don't have to seek approval. You earn respect by simply being genuine. So don't be afraid to let the superficial fall away. That's not rejection. That's alignment. Your aura is a magnet for authenticity. Let it keep doing its job. Because those who stay, they're not here for the image. They're here for the truth. They're here for you. Sign for you. You don't chase, you attract. When your aura is strong, you don't need to run after anything. Not people, not opportunities, not validation. You understand that what's meant for you will feel aligned, not forced. You don't chase energy, you create it. And that changes everything. Because the moment you stop begging to be seen, you begin to command attention. Not with noise, not with desperation, or with presence. You've learned that chasing often leads to compromise. It leads to you shrinking, bending, and breaking just to be accepted. But now, you no longer sacrifice your peace to fit in. You no longer dim your light to keep others comfortable. So you stay in your lane and you let your energy speak. This kind of stillness, it's magnetic. People can't quite put their finger on it, but they feel drawn to you. It's your calm, your certainty, but your refusal to beg for what you deserve. See, most people are constantly reaching, constantly searching, constantly striving for approval. But you found power in alignment. You know your worth, and that energy does the talking. You don't walk into a room trying to prove yourself. You walk in already knowing who you are. That level of self-assurance makes you a mirror. It reflects what others lack. It shows them where they're still chasing things that don't serve them. And yes, some people will be inspired by that, but others, they'll feel threatened. Because when you don't chase them, they start questioning their own value. When someone expects to be pursued and you don't follow, it challenges their ego. It confuses them. They wonder, why isn't this person trying to win me over? But the truth is simple. You don't chase because you don't need to. You know that you are the table. You are the energy. You are the experience that others are looking for, but not everyone is ready for. This is an arrogance. It's clarity. It's knowing that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on people or places that don't appreciate it. So yes, your aura might intimidate those who expect people to bend over backward for their attention. But the right ones, they'll recognize your power. They'll respect your space. They'll rise to meet you, not because you beg them to, but because your energy called them higher. You attract what you are ready for. You attract what reflects your value. And when your aura is powerful, the universe doesn't ignore it, it responds. Stay aligned. Stay grounded. Because your energy is speaking louder than you think. Sign you're comfortable being alone, and that terrifies people. There's a quiet strength in someone who doesn't fear solitude. You don't depend on a crowd to feel valuable. You don't need constant noise to feel alive. You've learned how to stand alone and still stand tall. That level of self-reliance, it unsettles people. Because society teaches us to equate being alone with being lonely. But you've discovered the truth. Aloneness is not emptiness, it's clarity, it's power. You spend time with your thoughts. You face your fears in silence. You've sat in your own presence long enough to heal, to understand, to evolve. And now, you're not afraid of space, you honor it. You're not afraid of silence, you find peace in it. Most people fill their life with constant distractions. Endless scrolling, loud environments, unnecessary relationships. Because they're scared of what they might hear if they truly listen to themselves. But not you. You don't run from the inner voice, you listen. You don't chase attention to escape discomfort, you confront it. And that level of emotional independence is rare, even intimidating. You don't chase validation from others because you've learned to validate yourself. You don't beg for company because your own presence is fulfilling. People wonder how you do it, how you can go places alone, how you can eat alone, grow alone, walk your path, even when it's quiet, even when it's misunderstood. They wonder how you don't crave constant updates, constant replies, constant approval. It's because you've outgrown the need to be constantly seen and replaced it with the need to be deeply understood, even if only by yourself. Your energy doesn't beg to belong. It creates belonging from within. But understand this, not everyone is ready for that kind of power. Some will try to guilt you for your independence. Some will misinterpret your peace as arrogance, your solitude as sadness. It's what they call lonely, you call liberated. What they see is distant, is disciplined. You don't isolate to hide, you retreat to recharge. You don't push people away, you just don't let everyone in. And that's your strength. The more time you spend alone, the more you elevate. The more you heal, the more you refine your vision, your purpose, your identity. So yes, your aura might be too powerful for some people, especially those who rely on others to define who they are. But for the ones who truly see you, they'll admire your solitude. They'll respect your self-mastery. And they'll understand you're not alone because you're empty. You're alone because you're full of peace, full of purpose, full of power. And that is a rare kind of energy. So now that you've seen the signs, the truth is undeniable. Your aura is powerful. Your energy is magnetic. And yes, for some people, it's simply too much to handle. But let me tell you something. That is not your problem. You were never meant to be digestible for every room, every person, every situation. You were meant to be impactful, unforgettable, transformative. Your very presence is a mirror, and not everyone is ready to face their reflection. That's not a flaw, that's a gift. Let them call you intimidating. Let them say you're too independent, too confident, too mysterious, too real. Let them misunderstand you. That's part of the process. And that's part of walking a higher path. Because here's the truth. What most people call too much is usually just a reflection of what they are not used to seeing in themselves. When you stop chasing approval and start living in alignment, you change the game. You stop seeking validation and start vibrating at a frequency that only the aligned can hear. That's when your life starts attracting what's meant for you, not what you had to beg for, compromise for, or shrink yourself for. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to be respected by the right ones. You're here to walk in your truth so boldly that you make others question the lies they've been living. You're here to shine so brightly that even in your silence, people feel seen, awakened, inspired. And yes, that kind of energy is rare. It will confuse people. It will repel the superficial. It will challenge those who aren't ready to rise. But to those who are ready, your energy is a lifeline. Your presence is healing. Your truth is revolutionary. You don't have to explain yourself to people who don't even understand themselves. You don't have to lower your vibration to make others feel more comfortable in their avoidance. That's not kindness, that's compromise. And you've outgrown that. From this point forward, walk with your head high and your energy unapologetic. The world needs more people who are not afraid to be exactly who they are. Fully, boldly, fearlessly, be that person. Own your presence, own your power, own your light. Because someone, somewhere is praying for a light like yours. to walk into their life. Someone is waiting to feel what it feels like to be in the presence of someone who is truly aligned, truly authentic, truly real. So keep walking in your truth. Keep honoring your spirit. Keep radiating that energy that can't be duplicated, faked, or ignored. Because in a world full of noise, your presence is the message. And remember this, you are not too much. You are exactly what this world needs. In your power, in your purpose, and in your light. Own it, live it, and never apologize for it. Your aura isn't a problem. It's a calling.